Welcome to Fight Club 24/7. My name is Johnny Rashman. Right, let's get straight into it. Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk. Right, we all know it's a 50-50 fight. There's conflicting opinions. A lot of people think Tyson Fury is going to be too big, too strong. That old saying, the big guy beats the small guy. And there's a lot of people who also think that Usyk will completely outbox Tyson Fury. So it's a fascinating clash of styles. I've always been consistent from day one, right, that Alexander Usyk causes Tyson Fury tremendous problems. I am shocked that people are still counting this guy out. People in boxing who know the boxing, they're saying stuff like Tyson Fury is going to dispose of him within 7-8 rounds. He's going to be too big. He's going to stop him. He's going to stop him with a body shot. It's just unbelievable, right? I still can't believe how you can count Usyk out. Yes, it's a dangerous fight for Usyk. It's probably the most difficult fight of his career. But make no mistake about it, this is the most difficult assignment of Tyson Fury's career. He knows it. And I've changed my mind about the winner. Right? I've always said Tyson Fury will win, and I'm from the UK. I'm a Tyson Fury fan. Yes, I've criticised him the last few months. Anything I say online, I'll say it to his face. It's never any hate. It's what I give an opinion at that time and responding to what people have said. And Tyson Fury was alluding to the fact that he wasn't going to fight Usyk next. He was talking about John Jones, or Usyk didn't deserve the payday, and we had all the trouble last year with when he was moving the goalpost. So I'll never apologise for anything I say, because it's never any hate. I might say I got it wrong, right? But it's never any hate. I'll always give my opinion on what I think at that time. And like I say, anything I say on here, I will say it to someone's face. It's never hate or disrespect, but I'll say it how it is. But as I say, I will back Tyson Fury. But as I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm not going with my heart, right? Because as I've said before, there's times where I've gone with my heart and not my head. I backed the UK fighter, and it's not worked out, right? And when I know I shouldn't have, it's not going to happen anymore. I did it with Sonny Edwards, and Bam, I wanted Sonny to win the fight, but, I made it clear that Bam was going to win that fight. This is a hard fight to predict. It is. It's a hard fight to predict. But I did think Tyson Fury will win, but I'm going with Usyk. I think Usyk on February 17th, on that night, will become undisputed world heavyweight champion. I'm going to explain my reasons why. Now, yes, it's a difficult fight. We all know the attributes Tyson Fury brings. But Usyk, this guy's built differently. Right, he is the creme de la creme of boxing. Right, he is up there. He is like the Ronaldo and Messi of boxing, the Federer and Nadal. He's in that kind of mold. He is the best of the best. He's a generational talent. He's a pound for pound great. He's a future Hall of Famer. When you're talking about boxing ability, this guy's up there with the best. He's in the mold of Bud Crawford, Floyd Mayweather, Lomachenko. He is in that mold. Right, Tyson Fury will mix it with any heavyweight in any era. Is he the best heavyweight of all time? You can't say that, because at the end of the day, we have to look at the competition. The competition is, Klitschko, great win. Deontay Wilder 3 times. It is what it is. Is Wilder going to go down as an all-time great? No. Right. So you can't say Tyson Fury is the best heavyweight of all time. You just can't say that. Right. But let me tell you something. He can mix it in any era. He's a phenomenal heavyweight. But Tyson Fury, 99% of the time, has the attributes to beat the men in front of him. He's bigger, faster, stronger. If he's not bigger, he's faster. If he's not faster, he's bigger. He beats people with his attributes. He is not in that level, a bracket, when we're talking about pure technical boxers, of your Floyd Mayweather's, your Bud Crawford, Lomachenko's, that level. He ain't on that level, and he'll tell you that himself. Now, he's a phenomenal heavyweight, and he's probably the best heavyweight pure boxer, but when we're talking about pure skill, he's not on that level. Usyk is. He's an Olympic gold medalist. He is just unbelievable. You look at the way he fights, you analyze him, his foot movement, the feints, the combination, the game management, just everything you can think of. he does everything absolutely tremendously. This is not someone who does one thing good and the rest bad. He does everything like to the top. He's the creme de la creme. This guy is beating people, not with attributes, physicality, not with physical attributes. It's pure 100% unfiltered boxing ability, right? And yes, he has no business beating Tyson Fury with the size of Tyson. Yeah, people have seemed to forget that Usyk's coming from cruiserweight. I mean, let's get it right. Before the AJ fight, no one expected him to beat AJ. They didn't. It was the bridge too far, too big, AJ. He didn't just stop him in a few seconds. He beat him in 2 fights against a very good Anthony Joshua. Contrary to what people think, the disrespect Usyk gets for that fight is unbelievable. You'd think he's going in there against a journeyman who's lost 40 fights out of 42. Do you know what I mean? It's like you wouldn't believe he's in there, one of the best heavyweights in the world. If you look at the best heavyweights in the world right now, who's number 3? It's Anthony Joshua. It's Usyk and Fury are number 1, and Anthony Joshua's number 3. Now, after Saturday night, Anthony Joshua's the best thing since sliced bread. Now, I love AJ. I'm a big AJ fan, and I'll talk about the card on a different video. Great performance. I liked what he did with Ben Davison. Really good victory, but let's get it right. You know, Otto Wallin. We all thought it'd be a dangerous fight, and AJ, to his credit, never let him in the fight, but, you know, it was a poor performance by Wallin, and it was a great performance by Anthony Joshua. But people, when you talk about Usyk and Joshua, they say, oh, Joshua was never that good. I know he's overhyped. And like Usyk's just not, just gone in there and it wasn't a hard fight. Like, you're going in against a 18 stone plus beast who can knock you out with one punch, who's an Olympic gold medalist, right? And Usyk beat him with his head, not with his physical attributes. It was unbelievable, the game plan, the way he negated Joshua's size, right? And people talk about the body shots with Usyk. It's an absolute myth. Yes, you might get hurt to the body if you fight in 18 stone plus men, right? Has he ever been stopped by a body shot? Has he ever been down as a professional from a body shot? I don't think he has. I think he has in the amateurs, not as a pro. People say Dubois beat him. Come on, that's absolutely fantasy island, right? It was a low blow. If he would have been counted, he would have got up. It's as simple as that, right? It's just absolutely like fantasy island stuff. I'm telling you now, right, Usyk is going to cause Tyson Fury major problems. And if you look at the second AJ fight, you know, AJ was targeting the body a lot. That was a game plan, and he did very well. People like to say it was easy victory for Usyk, but that second fight, going into the championship round, that was very close, right? And I think it was 9 or 10. AJ had his best round. I think he did hurt Usyk to the body. It looked like, well, he might be hurt here. And what did Usyk do? He went back to the corner, came back out and had his best round. I mean, how insane that is, that championship mentality when you're tired, you're up against a physical monster, and he's had his best round against you, he's got the momentum, and you come back and you absolutely dominate the round after. That's game management, that's mentality, that's world championship elite mentality. And the idea that Tyson Fury is just going to go in there and smother Usyk and just beat him up is just absolute nonsense. And I'm telling you this now, and if I'm wrong, I'll look stupid, won't I? But I don't believe I will be. Right, I think it's a tremendously hard fight. Steve Cunningham, who I've got a lot of respect for, he engages a lot on my page, on my Instagram actually, Steve, former world champion. He gave Tyson Fury a tremendously hard fight, right? And he was explosive, he was fast, and Tyson has said it was one of the hardest fights of his career. He didn't know what to do with him. Everything that was good about Tyson he couldn't use on Usyk. On Cunningham, he was just small, slippery, and Steve knocked him down, caused him tremendous problems, right? But in the end, it was the physicality. He was too big, Tyson. He literally just aborted the game plan and had to have a street fight with him, and he was putting his elbows, smothering him, stopping his breathing, and just clobbered him to death in the end, right? This is a different matchup, right? Usyk, He's acclimatised to heavyweight. He's been a heavyweight for a while now. He's been in with giant monsters, tough fighters. You know, Chisora, big pressure fighter. AJ, he's been in with big heavyweights now, powerful. He has negated his way through those fights, and he's done it masterfully, right? Can he win every second of every minute of every round? No, he's fighting much bigger man, high-level fighters, right? But he has shown that he can beat these guys with ability, with skill, and his physicality can hold up. He ain't being bullied, It's hard to hit someone and grab hold of someone who isn't there, who's always moving, right? Tyson Fury is just not going to be able to grab hold of him and lean on him. Right, that game plan, if that's what he's banking on, it ain't going to work. Usyk is going to be preparing for this. Right, and the thing that's sticking in my mind is Usyk would have been preparing for this fight for a very, very long time. Right, he has that mentality, the training camp, the discipline. This is not someone who's up and down. This is someone who's like that. Right? I can't tell you what that mentality is like. He will be coming up with the perfect game plan to negate Tyson Fury. Whether it works is a different story, but he would have been gearing to this fight. I always said Tyson wouldn't fight Ngannou before a Usyk fight, or a Usyk fight wouldn't happen after a Ngannou fight, because I thought there's no way he's going to be preparing for Usyk by fighting an MMA fighter. But he's gone with he's looked at the money, hasn't he? And that's not helped him at all, because that's giving him self-doubt now. He's not fighting anyone who's going to bring the attributes Usyk brings. Obviously, Ngannou, ended up being a tougher fight than before. Clearly, Tyson just went in there looking to knock him out. You can see that by the first round. He walked up to him and threw bombs in the first few seconds. Tyson never does that, right? So he's had a tremendously hard fight with that. They were fucking around in the training camp, right? No matter what anyone says, that's the truth. You can tell he came in at career heaviest. You can tell that, right? So he wasn't gearing up to fight Usyk, right? Usyk, since the Dubois fight, and even before that, since last year, since it was first announced, he would have been training for Tyson Fury. They'd have been bringing in the sparring partners. They'd have been working on a game plan every single day. He wants greatness. He wants those belts, right? Yes, he wants money, but he wants those belts. Tyson, for me, wants the money. Right, and I don't think he'd be fighting Usyk if it wasn't for the Saudi money. I've said it consistently. This fight wouldn't have happened if Saudi Arabia didn't pay the millions and millions and millions and millions and millions. Because if Saudi were involved, he would have took a few months off. Tyson, he's not stupid. He's a very clever boxing man, and he would have fought Usyk maybe in the summer or the year after. Right. If he could push it, if he could have this fight 6 months later in Saudi Arabia, he'll do it, right? But there's no way in a normal world, if he wasn't being paid this amount of money, that he'd be fighting Usyk after Ngannou in February. It wouldn't happen. So he is going to fight. People are saying it's not going to happen. It's going to happen. There's too much money on the line. You're talking... God knows what he's being paid. God, could be 50 million, could be 60 million, could be 100 million. He's not going to not turn up. He'll turn up with one arm if he had to. He's not going to miss that payday. So he's going to show up, right? Unless he can postpone it. If he has that right to postpone it, it wouldn't surprise me if he did postpone it and injury came up and he gets another few months. But from October to February, that's... For me, it ain't enough time. You need a few weeks rest after the Ngannou fight. It's not enough time to completely change, to get up to scratch to fight Usyk. At 60%, Tyson Fury can beat most heavyweights in the world, maybe all of them, right? Except Usyk. You have to be on your game. I don't care how big you are. If you think you're just going to go in there and just bulldoze this guy and be too big and too strong, not going to work. This is a master boxer. This is a guy who knows what he's going to do before he does it. Right? And people say Tyson's going to target the body. Tyson will not target the body as much as people think. Because let me tell you something. First of all, you've got to pin Usyk down. Right? And he's a southpaw. And when you do pin him down, when you're a big guy like Tyson, when you're throwing body shots, you are vulnerable to counter-punching, right? And Usyk is a phenomenal counter-puncher. He might not be able to knock you out with one punch, but he will make you think you ain't going to walk through him, right? Look at AJ. AJ never walked through him. No heavyweights walk through him, right? When someone is throwing counters back at you sharp and accurate on the chin. You don't want to taste too many of them. So if you're going to throw your body shots, you're leaving yourself open. Tyson's not the best body puncher in the world. You know, he's not known for his body punching. He might short and close. He just touch the body when he's up and he's leaning on him. If you can get hold of him. But the idea is just going to hit him with a body shot and that's going to be it. It's just not going to happen. Like he's a too big Tyson to land a lot of body shots consistently. I know AJ did try it a lot, but AJ is a different fight to Tyson. I don't see Tyson targeting the body that much because I think once he realises what counters are coming back, he's going to think, fucking hell, I need to be a little bit careful here. Right? He will target the body, but not as much as what people think. Right? So how is he going to beat Usyk? Okay, I get the point that he can be bigger and stronger. Right? I get it, the jab will be key. But it's just in my mind that this guy, Usyk, is just something else. You know, this is not me having a go at Tyson. I want Tyson to win the fight. Right? I might be changing my mind. I might think Usyk will win on this night. I wouldn't be surprised if Tyson won. Like, this is the kind of fight. You know, it's a 50-50 fight. But I just think that on this night, Usyk will get the game plan right. And I just think it stems from the mentality of him. Right? Tyson is chaos. This chaos at every corner. And for me, he's boxing for the money. Yes, Usyk wants the money. Of course he does, right? And he is boxing for money, but he wants legacy. He's been chasing this fight for a long time. Fury hasn't. I don't care what anyone says. You know, Frank Warren, Spencer Brown, you know, fair play to them, they do it. They're doing good stuff now, but you know they're all sitting there grinning like Cheshire cats. We knew this fight was going to happen. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. This fight was only going to happen in Saudi Arabia. You look at the interviews with Frank Warren when it fell out of bed last April when it was meant to happen at Wembley. He was going mad. You can see steam was coming off him, right? They were waiting for the Saudi money. It's as simple as that. It was never going to happen in Wembley. Tyson Fury, as I've said a lot of times, the only way he fights Usyk is if he gets paid an obscene amount of money from the Saudis. And he's got it. And he's been astute with it. Fair play. Right? But he has not been chasing this fight. Usyk has been chasing this fight. He's proved. He fights everyone away from home. You know, he has proved this guy, you know, he is about legacy. He wants to fight the people that's going to get him to those belts. He wants those belts, right? And you can't get in his head. I've said it before, right? Tyson going to win the mind games. You can see already at the first press conference, you know, he was trying to gappy teeth and ugly, and Usyk's just, and what? You finished, you know. This guy's literally been at war with his country, the Ukraine. You know, do you think he cares what Tyson says? And Tyson, after the fight, you know, if he does lose, I'm sure he'll be humble. Listen, I think there'll be controversy on the scorecards. They'll try and give it Tyson. Let's get it right. They want to make Fury and Joshua, but if the scorecards are correct, which, listen, there could be controversy, right? But I think after the fight, I think Fury, or after the two fights, Fury will be honest with you. When he's saying stuff like middleweight and Dosser and all that, listen, he's a very clever man, Tyson Fury, right? Believe me, he knows this is the hardest fight of his life. Right? And people go, well, he's Deontay Wilder, he was dangerous. Yes, that might be the more dangerous fight. But this is a harder boxing fight. It's not a street fight you can hit the hardest. It's a boxing fight, right? And Usyk is an absolute master, right? And when you're fighting someone who is smaller and who is that good, that is a hard man to beat because you're looking at things that you might not have seen before in the heavyweight ring, you know, somewhat southpaw. Just sublime foot movement, sliding in and out of range. You can't get hold of him. You're getting it with double jabs. You're throwing your right hand. He slipped it. He's come back. You didn't even see it coming. And you're like, oh, fucking hell, I need to get hold of this guy. He's slippery. He's awkward. He's silky. You know, how are you going to beat that? Strength alone isn't going to be enough. Not going to be enough. And I just think Usyk is going to get the game plan right on this night. Now, he might lose the rematch and he might lose this fight, but I just think he's going to become undisputed world heavyweight champion. I think this guy is built differently. He's the best of the best, right? If you look at an interview with John Fury in Boxing Social, it's pretty damning, you know, in Tyson. I can't imagine Tyson to be quite happy with that interview. And to be fair to John, he does wind people up. can get frustrating when he's putting the act on, the John Fury act and all that, you know. But he's no mug, is he? You know, he knows his boxing, and he's saying, look, Tyson needs 6 months to get his body right. Never mind to fight Usyk in February. He needs to get his body right. And he's talking about the training camp, and he's said the Nagano training camp was an absolute joke, and everyone can see that. And then people who don't really know boxing say, well, Tyson said he had a great camp. He's been training 12 weeks. Nagano was that good. Come on. He came in at his career heaviest, for God's sake. That tells you what you need to know. That tells you what you need to know. He came in heavy against Deontay Wilder in Trilogy because he had all these personal problems. So if he came in that heavy then, and he came in heavier against Nagano with a 12-week camp, that tells you he's been fucking around in the camp, doesn't it? Right, so that's all you need to know. I imagine Tyson will be very slim for this fight. He knows he's not going to bomb Usyk out of there. I think he will be prepared to fight a 12-round fight. And he can do that, Tyson, you know. He's always proved he's got the engine, he's fit. But this is why it's so fascinating, this fight. It's not going to be a barnstormer. It might be a bit boring at times, but it's going to be fascinating. From the first second to the last, you're going to be on the edge of your seat, just in awe of the game plans, the ability of each man. It's just going to be so captivating just to see. I just can't wait to see how Usyk deals with Tyson's size. Now, yes, I'm going on about how hard it is for Tyson, but make no mistake, this is a very hard fight for Usyk. Listen, he needs to get his game plan right. You know, he's fighting a giant who's got a good jab, who's fast, who's got power. You know, you can switch it. You've got to be on your game plan as well. How is he going to negate that? Because that is a big problem, you know. So, as I say, as much as I say it's a problem for Tyson, it's also a problem for Usyk. But that's why it's captivating. I cannot wait for this fight. This is it. This is the fight. Undisputed World Heavyweight Championship. Now, yes, I would have loved it in England or America, or, you know, because with it being in Saudi Arabia, as I've said before, they've got to do something about the fans and the atmosphere. They've got to do something. They're doing everything great, right? The production's great, you know, they're putting the fights on now, but you've got to get fans over there. You know, I don't care what sport you're in. Sport is made by the fans. Without fans, there's no sport. We all saw what it was like in COVID. Football behind closed doors, nonsense. Boxing behind closed doors. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. And you can't beat those moments where before the fighters are coming out, the anticipation of the crowd, is smoke in the air. The lights go out. The ring announcer announces the first fighter to come out. You know, those few seconds when they touch gloves, you want to bottle that atmosphere. That is what sport is about. And Saudi Arabia have got to do something about it. Yeah, it's all great having Ronaldo and Conor McGregor there, but come on, these aren't boxers. I love Conor, don't get me wrong, and, you know, we all love Ronaldo, but come on, I'm not interested to see him on my TV screen. He's not going to contribute to the atmosphere. I'd rather see 5 people with a pint in their hand singing and dancing like this. Do you know what I mean? They've got to do something to get the fans over there. They've got to do something. I mean, as I say, I'll do a video on the Day of Reckoning, but the arena was half empty. It looked like the first fight of a pay-per-view fight. It looked like the prelims and a pay-per-view fight. Do you know what I mean? And why didn't he just give free tickets away? Get people in there at least. You can't have the biggest names in boxing fighting in front of no people, and fighting in front of Cristiano Ronaldo. Come on. It's a joke, you know. And look, they're putting on the big fights, right? And I applaud them for doing that. But they've got to get the fans involved. And hopefully fans go, you know, I want to see fans there. I've not seen any fans go to the Fury Nagano and this one. Now, I know it was close before Christmas, the Day of Reckoning card, but I ain't seen any fans there. We've got to get the fans involved. But taking that away, at the end of the day, these fights weren't happening. They are happening now, so you've got to applaud what Saudi Arabia are doing, but we've got to get the fans involved. February 17th, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. It's going to be absolutely captivating, and I'm not going to change my mind. Right now, if it turns out afterwards there's been an injury in camp and all that, this has happened a few times, especially Liam Smith, Chris Eubank. You know, I bet Liam Smith found out afterwards he just had a horrific training camp, right? Horrific. And people think Eubank was unbelievable that night. He fought a punch bag. Liam Smith clearly wasn't ready to fight. They didn't. His training team didn't want him to fight. He was forced to have that fight, Liam Smith, right? And he battled on. He did what he could do, but that wasn't a, it was a 20% Liam Smith. So I have been bit a few times, but I can't. I don't know what's going on in the training camps, but if these men go in not injured, I believe Usyk will become undisputed world heavyweight champion on this night. Right, let me know what you think. Do you agree with me? Who wins the fight, Tyson Fury or Alexander Usyk? Like, comment, subscribe, let me know.